You're going forward long range, it would be great to have a parallel taxiway primarily because if you land on this runway, you have to go all the way down and then turn around and taxi back, so you're occupying that aircraft while somebody else maybe wants to land. And in your case, with your building area all at one end, that's the least ideal. You know, if you had a building area right in the middle, so you only had to have taxi halfway, that'd be great, but it's not there. So, good idea to think about it, and typically these would be built in thirds, so you build this third, and then this third, and then that third sort of thing, so. But it kind of depends on your traffic, and especially if you get multiple ag sprayers operating at the same time, it can get pretty hectic. Then we would continue this taxiway out here, and if you ever wanted to build a T-hanger, we would align it north-south with the prevailing winds. So when the wind blows from the north, all the snow blows past the hangar. If you turn the hangar 90 degrees, the wind blows from the north, it all piles up against the hangar door. And if you'll notice in here, these hangars face south, these guys face east and west. I've got one north-facing hangar in the whole area, so we really try to avoid that. Really be aware of the weather. The runway lights are also new, but in about 20 years, they might cause you problems. Sometimes they last 30 or more. So just some maintenance items here on the end. And then activity trigger means you're going to do them when the need arises. We're not going to put a year on those things, but we did put a price on those. So a couple different sizes of storage hangars. And then this area is storage hangars, but also, or an aerial applicator. Could just build a pad. Maybe this is a hangar and this is a pad, and he uses it for his ODAP facility. To kind of, right now they're in the grass right off the end of the apron. It's not the greatest setup, and they don't have any pavement underneath them, so if there's a leak or a spill, it could be a problem. So just saying, hey guys, this is the direction we want you to go, and here's a place to go over there. And then, so a large hangar and then the T-hanger in here, just some ideas for hangar size. And kind of what we're looking for, if there's any input or changes we need to make to the capital improvement plan before we make that draft submittal to FAA with all the drawings in the report.
Kind of ways it's been explained to me is if it's not on, again, this is a fluid document, but it's good to have this on here so that we can get future grants for it,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, say, oh, we're gonna put a taxiway in here and it wasn't on our plan, we're like, well, you don't even have, how do we know that's the right plan, that's where you want it, or whatever else, so that doesn't mean it's gonna end up right exactly in that spot, but it's at least something that's on our CIP plan, so. I can see that there was some thought put into it, I guess.
Yeah,
but-
yeah. That's the first step in getting that grant development. So your old plan had this runway extension lighting on there. And so you kind of completed the major items in your old plan. It's time to look to the future and what else do you want to do and work your way down. I think if you go, the next slide might have then, well, so there's the cost, just the total cost there. And we're just saying, these are items that are eligible for, we would suggest for state funding, which was the fuel and the AWAS. And these are items that are federally eligible. You will continue with that $150,000 a year, but that's really not gonna pay for all of it. So, no telling where the federal grant program is gonna go, if they're gonna add to it or subtract from it, or how it's gonna happen. And then this last item, that hangars cost a lot of money, and so we would expect there might be some, if you build every hangar we showed on there, so everything we showed on there, we are required to have costs for it. So we don't imagine that you're going to build all of those hangars, but we want to give you some options of where they might go. So, so people can pick and choose. If somebody says, I want to build a hangar, what lots are available, you can say, well, here's a lot, pick one. So it just gives you more flexibility, but then it looks a little crazy on the cost side.
They would most likely be privately built or some sort of a
Typically.
deal or,
Yeah, hangars are federally eligible, but they're very expensive because you have to meet all the federal grant assurances, the Davis-Bacon wage rates, which are basically union scale. You have to have a DE goal for minority or woman-owned business. And everything has to be American-made, and it's steel, electrical, and you have to have paperwork to prove it. So we typically see we do see,
cheaper to do it out there.
a couple airports a year build hangars, but it costs you 25 to 50% more than if you did it yourself, so. Yeah, that's just a fact of life. FAA, they want the highest quality possible, and they will tell you that. When you complain about costs, they say, we don't care, we're willing to pay for high quality. And whether it's a hangar or a runway, they don't change their standards. So looking forward, we're already in fiscal year 20. It started October 1st. And so we have identified some projects and talked about whether city would go forward with some, and I think that, well, we have to figure it out by the end of the year. So that would be regrading this area and then putting the dirt along the side of the runway. So they thought that was a great idea. Doing this apron maintenance and doing this, repaving this with concrete right down in there, those two. And then paving this piece of taxiway. Now, FAA will pay for the taxiway up to a proposed hangar, but you have to have evidence that that hangar is going to be built. So I don't know if you've had any success.
No biters yet.
No biters that want to buy a hangar. It would be great to add this concrete with this concrete and kind of do it, would be some cost savings to do it that way. If you can't find anybody that wants to build a hangar, then this project is not going to happen in fiscal year 20. They would want evidence that it's going to be built in the next six to 9 months after the taxiway is being done. And, I mean, we just paved the taxiway at Phillipsburg, which is why I was there taking pictures of the hunters. And they actually had the guy build the hangar at the end, because I gave them the longest possible taxiway. Or if you had an ag sprayer over here that wanted to build something, we could build a taxiway over to the ag sprayer.
Somebody else want to come in and do something, go back in the picture.
Yeah.
A pad wouldn't qualify, it has to be an actual hangar.
Unfortunately not, I thought it would, but that was a new question. You think I've been doing this for 30 years, I would know everything, but every year I get a stumper, and no, nobody's asked that one before. Anyway, that's.
But this one would be a good project, that's kind of one of it's kind of the entrance to our airport in the sense that it is
Yeah.
pretty,
It's pretty, yeah.
gnarly through there. It's nice
Yeah.
here, but it's not the greatest right there.
Yeah.
But
Is there any lighting improvements or concerns in the existing apron and where the current hangars are?
There isn't anything specifically called out, so you're talking about like a 30-foot light with a kind of like you put on a parking lot. I mean, those are eligible, and that is something we could add to that. I can't say if are there like
Lights on the
motion
hangers.
active lights? Sometimes there's just wall lights on above the hangar door.
Yeah, is there,
There's one above the fuel dispensers. There's one out there to the south side of the blue hangar. And then there's lights on the ag sprayer buildings and on to the north.
Okay,
The reason you mentioned traffic mixing with planes, and
Yeah.
you were just thinking of lighting, especially if someone came in either late in the evening or early in the morning when the lighting still isn't good. I didn't know if there was anything there, so that's.
I can check with Travis and see if that's a concern. I mean, that's something that could be added in. Height is a concern, because your runway center line is here, and then the angle of the light, they have to be kind of special lights that are angled down so they don't shine.
the toughest part is with this, which is unique, because I've worked, high school, I got to really work in a smaller tool like this, and it's really interesting. I cringe every time I pull in here too, because I go to Travis's buildings, that's the FBO, to like talk to him or whatever, and I'm like driving right through where all the tie downs would be. You know what I mean? It's real awkward. You know what I mean? If you're real nervous, take out with the tie, drive by airplanes, you don't want to get in the wing, you do something crazy that's gonna basically go to your kid's college, you know what I mean? Like, it's that expensive, it's not, but it's just interesting, you know what I mean? So that's kind of what we were talking about, eventually having the parking lot over here, which still might be awkward, but, yeah, so it's just-
Lighting improvements would be something.
yeah, so you are right, I mean, there is some concern there, but then you can't really put pools out there either. But, I don't know what
I mean, you can
From on
put
the
a pole
buildings.
between the building, or you
Yeah.
can look in, or if you're putting them on the building, I don't believe that's eligible, but that's a separate pole.
I do want to say, and I think there is lights on the buildings, but I can't remember how well it lights it up. But
Is it just,
Yeah.
just the box?
Okay. Yeah, and we did look at different entrances to the airport, whether we could move it
Yeah,
back
it's
over
hard.
here, but you're really tight with that property line,
Yeah.
and they're just,
Business over here is just, you know,
Yeah, and this limestone hanger, yeah, I wonder what happened with it anyway. This limestone hanger is probably historic, so they're probably, there's gonna be no FA money in any removal or anything that would affect that building. You know, if it's private city funding, but DFA has to do historic reviews of anything more than 50 years old, so. So that, yeah, so that's why that this area would eventually become the parking lot, and, yeah. You work with what you got. You got a great facility, you know, nothing's perfect, and you just kind of work with what you got there.
Are there any rules of what you can do with this building at this point?
So you can get FA funds to rehabilitate a hangar, but because of the structure of it, I don't know if there's anything that's significant.
There's nothing stopping us from doing anything else with it.
No,
It's
no.
private now,
Oh, it
or
is.
city.
Yeah, city, yeah.
It's city.
We can't use federal funds.
Was one of those limestone building hangars out there 25 years ago that it was in really bad shape, and they got together and fixed it up, and that may be one of them.
Yeah, that's the
Probably
one.
got ready
Yeah,
to
there's just
slow
one.
down again.
Yeah,
Like the co-op.
yeah, and
It's old, it's old.
Is it publicly owned or privately owned?
I believe the city.
I think it's the oldest.
City owned.
Yeah. So what happened, the old buildings, aircraft used to have, it's basically the taillight problem. The problem is that aircraft now, like a King Air 350 can have a 20-foot taillight. I mean, you have a 20-foot door to get some of it. Not, an airplane doesn't have a big wingspan, but it's got a big taillight. So the problem with this is that it's got a really low door, and you can't get much in there without hitting the tail. And it's
Really back to the tail draggers, yeah.
it's really expensive to raise the roof, you know. You can widen a building a lot easier than you can raise the roof. So that's the problem with that one. This doesn't fit today's aircraft very well.
Yeah, good.
Turn that into a lounge?
That's what I was just saying, dude, that would be kind of a cool spot. I mean, I don't see people gathering out there just to be out there watching the planes coming in, but just turn it into the actual pilot's lounge type, you know, if you remodel it a little bit, and just kind of be didn't have the parking lot right in there too, you know.
Yeah, so we've shown a new
Kind of same
building
idea, but-
right next to it, but this could be converted to a
Yeah.
pilot's lounge, with a pilot's
Neat.
lounge attached onto it, and, yeah.
See what it is on that.
You know, with,
Retro looking, you know, like, we've had car dealership in town, all limestone and cool, you know.
there's some cool things there. So going forward, we did finish up the final drafts, capital improvement plan, we check the couple chapters of the report, send the drawings in, send it all off to FA review, and that the steward objection and evaluation. It could be anywhere from 2 months to 16 months before we get it all back. And then, depending what those comments are, we'll make adjustments to the plans. You know, worst case scenario is that there's gonna be some questions about your runway length or obstructions that are affecting your runway. You know, best case is it looks great, you just go forward with the project. In the meantime, if you do want to do a fiscal year 20 project, that's something that's got to be decided by the end of the year. The FAA wants everything designed and out to bid by May 1st, so that means you have to advertise it by April 1st. So if you start January 1st, it doesn't give you, you've got a pretty short amount of time for engineer selection, design, and finishing that up. And then looking at probably construction in the fall.
What was your estimate again approximately on the grading project? Because I think that was,
So I do have I have copies of everything that was up there. I don't know if anybody wants to take that. The grading project, we were looking at 190,000, and then,
19,000.
and then the apron pavement project, 170,000. So you're looking at 360 total. There'd be some cost savings if you do the two together. And we just estimated them kind of separately. So.
and those would be eligible.
Those are eligible for 90/10, and the money is there with no competition, so, but you just have some deadlines to get it going.
Now, you said that you've seen settling, or is there any concern that that settling is gonna get worse if it's not addressed? Like it's gonna drop another 3 inches or something, or do you
Yeah.
feel it's sort of settled?
It typically after the first year,
Okay.
it would have settled.
From when they built it.
From when they built it. So when they extended the runway, they also widened it, and so then the dirt along those edges is settled.
So we're not, it's not a long-term issue, it's like gonna get worse and worse and worse, it's just, it's
No.
done it, we need to fix it, so it's back to where.
Then you need to fix it, actually, you wait long enough with the way the wind blows, it'll blow dirt in. Think of a fence row and how the dirt builds up. In 20 years, it'll fill back in all on its own, but, and in 20 years, you probably have to go out with a grader and scrape it off the edge. Or like your sidewalk, you know, how your grass grows up on your sidewalk. And you don't want that either because you want good drainage. Your pavements, if you could eliminate all water underneath your pavement, it would last forever. That's really, there's aircraft are really in that 12 to 16,000 pound range. Your aircraft is never gonna wear out from structural damage. It's gonna wear out from the sun and the water and the wind. So to keep the water off, which means give it a place to drain, but not too much. Now you have too much of a place to drain.
Yeah. This was an airplane, I thought it was pretty cool out there the other day, just having to drive by, little Honda jets.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was pretty sweet.
I've seen a lot coming in and out recently, so.
Yeah, the pheasant season really
Yeah.
brings them in. I see a lot of, yeah, the people at Phillipsburg were from North Carolina, and there was about 6 of them, and then 2 pilots that just sat in the lounge all day. We got paid.